fight the power like Big Chuck.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
There's some sins that you commit that you can't come back from, no matter how hard you try. You just can't, it's like the devil is waiting for your body to quit because he knows in that he already owns your soul. And then I think maybe there's no devil. You die, and God, he says, nah, you can't come in. You have to leave now. You have to leave and go away, and you have to be alone. If I ever no leave, right?
Check it, listen. You're a real step up, and I'm a landmine. Leave your legs dangling, call it hang time. Shout out to all the soldiers who bang signs. Back in the day, I used to slang dimes. This is for the streets, hustling, pushing grams, and flipping bundles. Fuck the government borders, I'm digging tunnels. Delivering the package, cause I'm the real muscle. Wearing ski mask, sports emblems above my brim. Nothing but camo, I'll stomp you out in my Timbs. Taking a step further and start chopping limbs. One day I make it out of hell, something's gotta give. People ask how come the chaos doesn't break me. Because I'm solid, deeply rooted like sequoia trees. The top G, Chuck the God with the iron rod, making devils flee. Staying righteous is something that I can't guarantee. I appear out of nowhere and disappear in the spliff smoke. No one is safe, not even the Catholic Pope. You would own nothing to be happy, that must be a joke. Cause no one is laughing, a war will be invoked. You will be gasping for air like an asthmatic choke. Begging for life, live slump, looking like an addict on dope.
Fuck the music. What is with this new stuff? What's this here? But what's good with nobody? So, I'll be uploading, I think the next 3 chapters I had to redo. I was gonna upload it last night, but I could hear how stoned I was in my voice. I didn't like it, so I erased it and redid it. You gotta sound professional when I'm doing that, and I could just tell how stoned I was, and it just didn't sound right. So I redid them. The conspiracy of COVID-19 and 5G. Get out and vote. Vote. They need to vote for Chuck. I need donations for my campaign. Fucking, you got a so-called billionaire asking the poor people for donations to his campaign. Well, I need donations to my campaign. It's called Fuck the Government. Yeah, and people really think that that stuff came from China. Well, how do you know? The United States is always pointing the finger at other countries. When they do that, I like to slide the mirror in front of them because most likely it's them, China. Like this is fake beef they got with China. Like I said, man, do you really think? I'm gonna say this a million times. If they really had beef with China, they would be pumping out their products on the shelf. I don't think so. Yeah, it's November 5th is voting time. I didn't realize it's that quick already. People are like, we need Trump. That's what my friend was telling me this morning. We need Trump. I'm like, man, listen, we don't need none of them bums. All we need is the American people to have some fucking common sense. And why don't we start our own money, our own banking system? Why not? People are too scared to do anything but lean on the fucking government for all the answers. What's up, Chris? JG? Yeah, my fucking videos ain't even getting no traction, man. You know, YouTube always does that to me. The second video got over 1,000 views, and now mine's barely even reaching 30. I think it's because I have my suspicions of why it's doing that. Yeah, let's look up comment laws, matter of fact. Because my my hotspot ran out. Instead, say
Hey Charles, how's it going?
good. How are you
Yeah,
doing? Does this say disco sucks?
yeah, disco sucks. Yeah, I don't like disco. You can type. Oh, never mind. Hey JG, how you doing, brother? You behaving yourself? Yeah. So what are you up to, Charles?
Not much. Just got out of work a little while ago. Now
Oh,
I'm
oh
fixing
crap! What do you do
to
for
do a
work?
lot. Just painting.
Oh, that's cool, dude. I mean, is that harder?
No, not really.
Oh, okay, okay. That's. I mean, I'm glad.
It's
I mean,
more
it
than
doesn't sound like
art.
it's a lot of stress for you, huh? Not a lot of stress for you.
It could be,
It could be, yeah.
depending what. Yeah, like if you're painting $1 million house and you got multicolors and you got. It just depends. Like if you
Eh,
got a lot of rookies on the job site and they don't know what they're doing, and you're on
yeah.
$1 million house, there's a lot of worry.
Oh, okay. Are rich people like snobby snob little crybabies? Is that what you found, or is it the opposite? Poor people are like that, or is it just matter? Is everybody just different?
Like I've worked in West Hartford, Connecticut, where there's a lot of rich Jewish people, and they're snobby, picky. You have a right to be picky. You're paying, but I mean, they're beyond snobby. They're like that whole goyim thing. You know, I didn't believe it until I started to meet. And I don't have nothing against all Jewish people. Like I say, there's trash everywhere. It don't matter what labels we put on each other. Jew, German, Jewish, whatever. There's bad people everywhere, but yeah, they look down on anyone that's not Jewish for sure, man. Especially the old school Jewish people. I didn't believe it until I started to meet a lot of them, and
Oh wow, so that stuff's real, huh? Interesting.
And they ask me, "What are you?" I'd be like, "German." It's like that, just to get them mad.
German, yeah, they hate Germans, huh?
They only hate Germans because they're told to hate Germans.
Yeah, I'm German, dude. Like, I have a German surname, you know. Yeah, as
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
German.
It's like you have nothing to do with that AH guy, you know. Nothing to do with that, you know. Like,
A lot
dude's
of the stuff they tell about is a lie. Do you know? I forgot the name of that runner who ran in the Olympics that was in Germany. But check this shit out. They say Hitler, the man with the mustache, is so racist, and I forgot the runner, man. He won a gold medal for the U.S. at that time. And he
yeah. Wasn't
said,
it Steve Garvey or was it just no? What was his name?
I almost said Carl Lewis, but he didn't run until when I was a child. So this is way before then. I'll say, guys, let me look it up. Gold medal. Let me look this up so I can get his name right. Um,
Jesse Owens, huh?
I think that's him.
Jesse, yeah, I remember him. Yeah, yeah, I remember that guy. I actually
Jesse
heard that. I actually heard that Adolf Hitler actually shook his hand, and it was the American
Right.
president who
Yep.
snubbed him.
Yep. You're absolutely. You took it right out of my fucking thoughts, man. I was just about to say that because in the book I read that. Yeah, that Hitler shook his hand, and the real racist person was the actual American president. Man, isn't that wild?
Yeah, isn't that something?
That's wild, man.
You know, Hitler could have been
I
like
don't believe Hitler was anything they said he was. I think he was trying to fight the true evil, man. That's just my opinion. People can hate on me for it, but
no, dude. From the German perspective, he was trying to get rid of the you know who's because they were like putting up setting up banks and putting the German people in poverty and stuff and making them slaves, you know, like economic slaves. And they're like buying up
yeah.
all the businesses and stuff and had all the premium land and you know.
Mm.
That's what I heard.
And the technology, you ever seen Germany before the war over there, before they destroyed the entire continent? Like, look at the cities that were bombed during that war. The whole country, all of Germany was annihilated. Their technology. Let me show this video. I don't know if I still got it up. Of their train they had. That's like, what the fuck? That's the shit I'm talking about. Dude, what's going on here with my I can't get to my music.
So Charles having some technical difficulties. People, back when he gets a chance. Oh, there you are.
And
Cool.
no, I left out because it wasn't letting me go to my video. Here we go. Look at this. You could unmute. Oh, it ain't gonna mute you. But this is a video that's been colorized in Germany, and this is the train they had. I think maybe these taller people built, but I mean, even the architecture before everything was destroyed was just beyond. You know, I mean, you didn't see trains like this in America, as far as you know,
No.
that were sitting. I mean, look how the cars are. The tracks are above them.
Wow.
This is
1800s.
yeah, 1890 something.
Oh my gosh.
That's when my great grandparents came here in the 1890s.
This is wild, dude. Man, I'm telling you, Germans have to they have to put a leash on the Germans, otherwise, you know, they'll they'll get out of control and get out of hand, you know, especially the wrong guy gets in power, you know. Wow, look how advanced they are and stuff, you know. Jeez.
But yeah, now we're dealing with all sorts of weather warfare. Um, I mean, look what happened with New Mexico. I'm still trying to get.
Think China sent a storm over there to knock out that Carolinas.
I don't think China sent it. I think fucking. I wish I could share my thing because Richie from Boston. The other day I showed the video and you could see from Area 51 they shot some frequencies and it's what created that storm. Let me see if I could damage. I want to see if I could find a video.
Hey JG, what government job you talking about? Much. I don't follow you. What you saying?
Roswell flooding. What government job?
Government jobs kind of suck, JG, because like you're at their mercy, you're under their thumb, you know. You don't want that, JG, if you can avoid it. You know. I mean, it depends what you're looking for, I guess. Money or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, if you can stay away from that, you know, probably better off. Hey, JG, come up here, brother. I'd like to have you.
Man, booted me out again.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, does that to me sometimes too.
Trying to upload some videos here. I can't share my screen, so I'm gonna download a couple videos of damage in New Mexico, Roswell, at that.
Oh, can you open like a browser or something and pull up YouTube videos? Or you can't do that on.
I gotta download them and then upload them to StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
It's like a big head. Yeah.
Got you.
Because I ran out of.
Well, hopefully you have at least 100 megabits a second of download speed.
What the hell is going on here? You ever heard of the Alaskan Avenger? He's the guy who went to prison for taking out some chomos. He just got
No,
released from.
oh, never heard of that. Oh,
That's a superhero for real, man. You know, these chomos get away with too much. They're still out there repeating the same offenses. And
Yeah, like serial chomo guys, man. You know. Wow.
Court system will give a drug dealer triple the time that they'll give a child molester. Oops, I think I should have said that.
That's totally backwards. Or it's like women into murdering their babies, you know?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Like abortions and stuff, you know? Like
Anyone watch the World Series last night?
no, I don't follow baseball. Was it good?
I don't. I mean, I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm pretty much not a fan of sports anymore. Period. Excuse me. But I grew up a Red Sox fan. I mean, I'm more or less just a observer now. It's funny when I watch people beat each other up over teams and stuff like they're on the team or they get paid.
Yeah, like they say stuff like
Right.
we lost, you know? You lost.
We
You lost. You
I
mean
used
the team lost?
just like that.
You know? No, are you part of the team? Like we lost? You know, I always thought that was funny. Like, are you guys on the team? We lost? You know, like I know what they mean, but yeah, it's just just sounds kind of funny to me, you know. Like, wouldn't you rather play sports yourself than watch it? I
Yeah.
would. So
What's up, Axis?
oh, Axis Rap Bloods here? Cool, man.
Yeah.
Right on. Hey, welcome, Axis. Hey, Axis, come up here, brother, if you feel up to it. You know? If not, that's cool too. You know? Chill.
Come on. I mean, it makes things so difficult to do. Just to download a video. I gotta go through all these obstacles, man. What the fuck? I'm using a YouTube converter, even though I shouldn't be using that because it's probably terrible.
Mm.
Loaded with all sorts of viruses in the computer and shit.
Oh, that sucks. If you had a laptop or something, you could get software like that do it. They could do that kind of stuff with too.
What's malware? I gotta ask Axis. Axis is well versed in computers. They got this thing where I think it's called malware or something that they put in people's phones, and I don't know how true it is, but
It's like kind of like a virus, you know, like but it's not a virus. It's like a sub type of virus, you know, like everything's a virus, but there's like sub malware. You have like I don't know viruses. You have you have like I don't know ransomware. You know, all kinds of different viruses. I call them, you know, troublemakers, right? It's subclasses of viruses. That's the easy way
yeah,
to think.
because they have an app or something on how to get rid of them, but who knows if you're not installing them when they're saying you're getting rid of them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Is the source code open? Is the source code open on these things? You know.
Jeez, how long you gotta wait for this fucking video?
How many megabytes is it?
not long at all.
Oh, is it converting?
Yeah, about to.
Oh, okay. It depends on how
Uh,
fast their
yeah,
encoder
only
is.
16 of video. It never takes as long to convert.
That's
When
because they're
they
trying to do
convert them,
something fun here or something important. Yeah.
they convert it to Muslim. To Islam.
Hey Charles, so are you anything esoteric like not esoteric but alternative I should say, like alternative
Which,
law, alternative technology, that kind of stuff?
what do you mean? Mhm.
Like anything alternative, like okay, let's say like let's say technology like pulling power from the ether or
My info, like reading about it and stuff, or do I know anything about it?
yeah, you like know anything about it or trying to experiment with it or anything like that?
Mm, no, but I would like to learn. I'm trying to figure out ways to. I want to create my own generator.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You know,
Yeah, check out Geet. You can see if you can maybe figure his technology out. Geet, Geet. Um, used to like magnetize a rod, right? Point it like north and magnetize it, and it break apart water molecules and um, release the plasma, right? You burn the hydrogen. Do it properly. Guess Charles is having some technical difficulties here. Be patient, please. Hold tight.
man, what hell that was. Trying to download. Anyway, I'm back.
Welcome back. Got it situated up?
Hope so.
Yeah, good.
We'll see. They don't have like good videos to pick from. It's all news stations for this New Mexico storm. And I don't like the news reporting anything.
Yeah, maybe go to like NOAA or something, right? The like the weather website for the government, NOAA. It's called NOAA. You know. Ever hear that?
Wait,
Yeah.
actually, I think I might have.
Yeah, it's like a weather website for the government. It's called NOAA.
I wanna find that fucking footage of that guy showing how over New Mexico they were shooting frequencies. He caught that on the radio. A lot of people have. He's not the only one. I've seen a lot of different people.
Shooting frequencies, like what was he doing with them? What was he trying to do?
No, he wasn't. It was the government, right? You know where Area 51 is, Roswell? Well, on the radar, he recorded that they were shooting frequencies. And, to create that storm, you know what I mean?
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
Just so happened to catch it on the radar app, which
Wow.
and then, not that it matters, because most people will be like, "No, man, that ain't true, man." You know how most people are.
Yeah, they've been talking about weather radar from like since the 60s, man. Like weather warfare. Like since the 1960s, dude. Like,
They got patents that go back to 1890 for
oh
weather
wow.
warfare. There's thousands of patents. Check this video out. This is how they cut stones back in the days.
When water pressure through a nozzle with a pressure of 14.5 million psi and a diameter of 0.05 millimeters, it becomes the world's sharpest cutting tool. This tool made of water can easily cut through even the toughest materials, from the hardest rock to the strongest metal like diamond.
Nice.
Yep. That's how they cut. With precise. With water and lasers. Let's see. They're not showing too much, man. Unless I'm like blind on YouTube about this New Mexico flood.
Hey, welcome, D. Allen. You got D. Allen here. Yeah, Charles is messing with some videos. D. Allen.
All right. I'm going to Austin's video, download it, cut it in half, and then upload it in 2 pieces. Because that's what I have to do to show videos through StreamYard. Because they don't allow you to share your screen with your phone. StreamYard, get your stuff together.
I just heard they doubled the price on StreamYard too.
What? It ain't worth it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, salute D. Allen.
And I like StreamYard, don't get me wrong. I like how I could do all this stuff. But there's a few things, they need to fix.
There's this other software that's all technical. It's called OBS or something like that. Have you heard of that?
Is it good?
Gamers use it. You can do like the same thing that StreamYard does, but for free. It's just more manual, if you will. I'm not sure exactly how. Well, I don't know if you can set up scripts or what you can do, but you could probably if you want to look into it, you could probably like customize it so that it does everything you need for free. Maybe if they do like scripts. So might want something you want to look into.
Oh, God's name. Nothing. Not letting you download on any website. What the fuck's going on? I've never had this happen to me ever. What do I got? Like the ultimate ban or something? Anyway. This is weird. Peace to everyone in the chat, even though no one's saying nothing. Whoever's in the chat. Oh, one left. One
Yeah, I
push
invited
mic
JG.
up.
I invited JG to come up, but I guess he didn't feel like it or something.
Damn, it's gotta be fucking early as ever for JG. No wonder. Holy shit, I just thought about that. He's 6 hours behind.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's only like 1, 2 in the morning for him in Hawaii. It's fucking the sun's up over her. Yep, he's in Hawaii. He's in paradise, living it up.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, he's going back to sleep. Vote for Trump. I'm out of here. Trumpy! What's up, D. Allen Warren? Flat motherfucking power.
Have good rest, JG.
I gotta download this video. Don't give up. Every converting platform I'm trying to download on just won't let me do it. We'll try this one. D. Allen Warren is what's Bro Sanchez been up to, man? I haven't really seen no live streams.
All right. Who are you talking about?
No, this person's channel, me and D. Allen Warren have been subscribed to for a long time. Actually, Bro Sanchez is one of the first. Besides Bro Sanchez, Eric Dubay, ODD TV, and Dread from Question Everything. Who else? There's probably a couple more people. But those are like the first people I started watching about the flat earth stuff.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, it goes back, huh? How long do you have this channel for?
My roommate said, I'm hungry as hell. I said, how's hell hungry? Oof. Let's see. Multiple countries about to destroy that land. Oh well. Oh well. Bring it. Bring it. That's why they gotta shoot missiles, because they're pussy. They can't come on land and fight one on one. A missile shooter is a pussy, just like a person who pulls a gun. They can't fight. You know. I could take an ass whooping to live to see another day. I've taken many ass whoopings in my life, and it only makes you stronger. What the fuck is going on here, man? So much. I'm not gonna sit here and play games with these videos.
Yeah, it's good.
Not
Technical.
letting.
Yeah.
Yeah, not me. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not gonna sit here and fight them and keep trying. I tried every like 6 different websites.
Mm. You have to compress it down to a certain size.
No,
No.
sometimes I got to cut them up because they won't fit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was looking into this yesterday, looking into the microwave towers and all that good stuff. I was curious to see,
Yeah.
how much shit are they pumping
You're probably
onto
cooking up
us?
like crazy. Wouldn't be surprised, dude. If you buy one of those devices that reads radio waves, whatever, especially like the 5G stuff, 5G, 4G waves and stuff like that. You can look on that device and it'll tell you how much radiation is putting out. And you can look up like the
I,
safe amount. You know about that?
yeah, I want one of them.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
of them.
I might aid you in your quest. Oh,
Those are good things to have because I think a lot of these towers are pumping out way more than we're being told. I think these towers are weapons. I
yeah, dude.
think all the internet is underground. My opinion.
I wouldn't be surprised, man, if they do a blitz on everybody at one of these days.
Yeah, that's why America, people need to, not that fake woke shit, that the politicians are pushing and their fucking wacky agendas. This shit's for real, man. People don't see, a lot of people don't see nothing wrong with them poisoning our water. A lot of them don't believe it. Or poisoning the water, the food, the air. Like, we're at war right now. Just because someone ain't shooting bullets and bombs don't mean we're not at war. We're being poisoned from all different angles, man.
Yeah, soft kill weapons. Yep. And these phones, man. These phones. Oh my god, that's a weapon of war. You know, causes addiction problems, like for a lot of people. They look at it all day and they cook themselves. With that radiation that's coming off of it. It's just, yeah.
It's terrible.
Man, I want to go back to like 1989, dude. I miss that
Yeah,
days.
I miss the 90s.
Yeah.
5G deployment of September 2020. Now, this is what I mean. Now, people, when you study these people's moves, you start to realize, you know, they say those are 5G towers, but are they? What if, this is my theory. If I've got maps, I'm gonna post them up of these underground, the way they lay down underground or under the ocean too. Not under the ocean, but it's all wiring.
Look where that purple stuff is at on the left. So notice that bottom left. It's like they're. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it looks like they're targeting white countries. Doesn't it seem that way? Because there you got Europe over there, and then America. That's mostly white too. Just saying. Possibility.
You know what's wild? Hey, even I heard this Jewish guy say their goal is to wipe out the white people, and I'm thinking, aren't Jewish people white too? The fake Jews. He even admitted that they're fake Jews.
Yeah, fake Jews. Yeah, Ashkenazi.
Yeah, Rabbi Finkelstein. That was his name.
Fake Jews. Yeah.
Finkelstein.
Interesting. Why would they want to kill white people when they're white? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All that white and black stuff, man. When they're attacking us and poisoning us, do you think they care if we're Christian, Muslim, white, black, all that nonsense labels that we've been taught to use? They don't care about none of that.
They attack anybody that's outside their club or clique. They attack them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't care.
Look at this. This is New York City. This is one of the new. Yeah, one of them. Now, this right here is showing how things are underground. Not underground, but there's wiring.
Oh, yeah.
So my theory is they say they're using these towers. Now, what if the towers, they put them up so people don't ask questions? They say, oh, those are 5G towers. But as you can see in this diagram, the purple is when they started using 5G. So what if that's when they put their microwave weapon, I call it, these towers on 5G? That's when people started feeling ill. But it's all that 5G and 4G garbage don't exist. It's all one signal going underground through these wires here.
Oh,
I keep saying under, but
that's how you get it go. That's how you do internet and stuff across countries and stuff.
That's my theory. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think those towers are the weapons they're using. It makes people ill.
Interesting. Yeah. Remember the Spanish flu?
I've heard of it. I don't remember it. When was this?
I don't know the exact date, but it's when they started messing with radio waves, right? And that's when a lot of people started getting sick.
Say that again.
Right? And that's when the Spanish flu came out around that time when they started messing with radio waves. So, Spanish flu.
Hold on. I don't have headphones. It's all good. Probably got to charge my headphones anyway before I go. But yeah, I think the towers are the weapon, and like I said, it could be used for other things too. But I think the main reason is it's a weapon. Everything's frequency. They control the weather through frequency and resonance and all this different stuff, man. Through energy. Even Jesus and Satan was trying to show people the light spectrum, like in spiritual and energy.
elevation. Okay. Antarctica. Wow. 8,200 feet. Interesting. So do you have any theories on what the shape of the Earth is? Do you think it's a globe or flat or something else? Or no idea?
I think we live on an infinite plane.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, even as a child, I would think to myself, if there was Titans, like I could prove there was 14 feet people, but I don't know about Titans, and I'm not saying they did or didn't exist. I don't know, but as far as like turning the mountains to the side, you could see faces and stuff. I agree with that. It's not pareidolia, but in order for Titans to run around comfortably, they ain't running around comfortably on a little ball. I mean, the globe could be destroyed, man. And so many. All you got to do is show water, and that destroys the globe alone. There's no curvature, none whatsoever, unless you're talking about hills or mountains and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think we're on an infinite plane, and the Antarctic Treaty says a lot. I mean, to keep us the Lord of the Rings. But
Yeah.
hopefully
It's like-
one day I could find out, man, because I'm tired of speculating. I want some facts.
There's like a bunch of countries that signed on to that Antarctic Treaty. A bunch of them.
Yeah, and they we go to war all the time over food and land and stuff, but all of a sudden they got this treaty over ice. Come on. If you can make peace over ice and no one's allowed to claim or you mean to tell me you can't make peace? Fucking it's wild when you really think about this stuff.
Yeah, something's not adding up. Something's not making sense.
No.
Like, why would?
Huh? Oh, like what happened? He got booted out. Booted out. Shit, I might as well take this with me.
I wonder which countries are not signed on to the Antarctic Treaty. You know,
None. They all are. All of them.
Wow. Huh.
Yep.
Like, why would China agree to that? You know.
I don't know. I don't think any of these countries are our enemy. I think that's all a fallacy. Just to keep us divided. Imagine if the whole world, the people were on one page. Like, if our country's so free, why don't the people represent? Why do we got these fucking families that are representing our country? They do a terrible job at it. We're in debt. They give all our tax money to these fucking other countries when our country's falling apart and we need the money. We need jobs. We need to take all the... these shelves are packed with stuff from China and all this cheap fucking merchandise. Well, I miss seeing American-made stuff. When I was growing up, there was tons of factories everywhere, family-owned businesses. That was America. Now America seems like some foreign fucking land. There's barely any jobs. They're bringing in all these migrants that are taking a little bit of jobs that are left. It's like, what the fuck? I watched this country go down the shitter. And fucking since 9/11, this country has been nothing but straight downhill, man. It's straight. About to crash into the wall any day. This country is fucking done. Yep. They just gave $100 million to fucking Israel.
Jeez.
But people in North Carolina, they're giving them like $750 a month, and they got to pay it back. What type of shit is that?
Yeah, it should be $7,500 grant. You know?
Yeah, you heard about that? And they got to pay it back. allegedly. I don't know how true that is.
If you don't pay it back, they take all your land.
What? Oh my God! See,
Yeah.
I knew it was a land grab.
That's in the contract. If you don't pay it all back, every single penny, they'll grab your land.
That's what I think it's about. And you notice these storms? Someone mentioned, I don't know if anyone else is noticing this, but a lot of these storms are taking place in red states.
Yeah, dude, you notice that? Like, it's the Christians and the gun grabbers. That's a lot of Carolina's high concentration of Christians and gun grabbers. I'm not gun grabbers, gun supporters in those areas. You know, where that hurricane hit right up there in Carolinas and stuff. That's where high concentration of Christians and people who like guns are in that area. Why would they want to take them out?
I don't know. But we got to be careful with these fucking people, man.
That was a good point you made, you know, about this land grab.
I know politically the red and blue don't matter, but you know, I remember too growing up, man. No one hated each other because one was Democrat and one was Republican. America, the old people like my grandson, them, they didn't argue with each other. If they seen things different, they would speak on it. I never seen them argue and get mad. You know,
Yeah.
I was always with my grandfather. You know, he had all the wisdom, so I wanted to gain some wisdom. But yeah, times have changed, man, for the worse. America's now arguing over who's left or right. It's getting more divided. It's insane.
Yeah. It's like, did you hear about the Mormons, dude? Like, Mitt Romney is trying to get the Mormons to go Democrat, vote for Kamala Harris.
Yeah, they're gonna use dead people. Remember the last fucking election? They used dead people, and then they're gonna use the immigrants, and then they got all sorts of tricks up their sleeves. These fucking imbeciles.
Yeah, you think that the Republicans really cared, which they probably do. Well, they don't know. They don't, because they'd insist that the ballots be counted by hand. You know, no machines. No. Those are way easier to manipulate than hand ballots. You know.
Yeah. America is surely falling apart. And it's sad because, you know, it seems Americans have so many excuses to stand on their ground. Back in the days, growing up in the 90s, there would have been none of this shit. I think that's why they didn't try to pull this back then, because they know they wouldn't have gotten away with it. And I think most of these laws they put into place are void. Because, you know, explain to me if I'm wrong. The Second Amendment says you have a right to bear arms, and it cannot be, what's that word, infringed upon?
Yeah.
So that means you can't alter it. There is no, you can bear arms, but because you're a felon, you know, meaning it can't be infringed means they can't change it. But
Yeah,
you
you can't introduce new laws, new codes and statute. Well, they can, but you know, they're bound by that Constitution. You know, technically, when they pass these laws, it's to regulate their own, like the own government agents. A lot of people don't know that. We the people are not bound by those private policy regulations. You know, like codes and statutes. We're not bound by those, but most people don't know that. So they get mad when they pass new gun laws, which don't even apply to we the people. But people don't know that. So there you go. Ignorance, man.
Yeah,
People bow
a
down
lot
to
of
those statutes because they don't know better, you know?
even Obama, uh, Bush. Bush, people say, "Oh, he was a Republican." Well, it doesn't seem like it to me. It don't see. I don't look at them as Republican and Democrat. There's something behind the scenes that they're all one. The secret societies they're in, they're all one behind closed doors. Fuck that Republican Democrat shit. Look at them as, in my opinion, they're the enemy of this country, man. They're destroying our country.
Yeah, they are. The attorneys took over, man. That's what happened. You know?
This is what holy shit. How the fuck did this happen, dude? Holy shit. Hold on. I'm confused here.
Okay.
Look at this shit. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Hold on. That's it. This thing sucks. Why can't I make it the whole screen, for fuck's sake? Anyway. Well, yeah, look, there's the car that crashed here. Look at all that glass. I'll show you in a minute, but look at this tree, man. I'm looking like the car might have come this way, came up and hit this tree out of place. These trees are up on a hill, man. Like, if you look at this, it goes up a hill. I'm wondering how these trees back here got snapped. This is weird, man. Look at this. Obviously, something came from out here, but it looks like a car came this way and came up like that. Boom.
Oh, okay. Probably
This is the side of I thought it came from up there. It fell, but no.
slid out or something and took off, maybe. You know?
Yeah, there's all sorts of car parts here and up here.
Interesting. Good tracking skills, you know? Good observation skills.
All this glass. Motherfuckers. Been a lot of accidents on the street this week.
Yeah, be careful, man. Be careful. Watch where you're walking, man. Like, make sure nobody comes up behind you or something. And especially watch corners. You know what I mean? Watch corners, especially.
What's up, Dom? Yeah, I'm focused on the evils, right? I'm still trying to think of anything good these politicians have done in law, right? I'm still trying to think of any laws that were put in place to benefit the people. Let me think. None.
Well, you have to go back to common law. You know what I mean? Like, we have to go back to civics, man, and like learn civics and the common law and how to apply that. You know?
What's up, Gabriel? That which is peace. Who else came in? That's it.
Memory center. Yeah, that which is says the aluminum and chemtrails is impairing our memory center. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Oh yeah, 1215, Gabriel. 1215, Magna Carta. Yeah, right on. Yeah, I like it, Gabriel, the way he thinks, man. 1215, 1215, yeah? When your Magna Carta was signed? Put a throat up to
what do you think about red flag laws?
So
like, they're doing whatever they... Like, somebody explained to me how penalizing people who legally carry is going to help anything. When they put these laws into place, it always seems to penalize people who are legally carrying and doing good. They're always going after people who legally carry. That's just the bottom line. These laws are putting like red flag laws. If you see someone with a gun, I thought we're free to bear arms. Like, look at the armed fisherman. People should watch him. He follows the law. And the cops, every time they see him, they almost gun the man down. In America, they're making it so every time you see someone with a gun, it's something to be scared of and report it. Just like China. I don't want to live like China. Fuck the way China lives. Fuck their point system and their rules. I don't want to live like that. The fuck? Micromanage.
It's not American,
Like,
man. You need to,
No.
like Gabriel said, dude, we need to go back to the common law, you know?
I don't want to be micromanaged. I already am. They put cameras up on every corner. No one asks taxpayers permission. These people just do whatever the fuck they want when they want. But if we do what we want when we want, we'll get arrested. You know, I know I bitch and complain, but it got to be an even playing field. I'm just calling out what I see through my observation. People call it bitching. I just call it having a conversation.
Say venting, you know? We're not complaining.
Yeah.
Not venting.
I'm tired of my tax money going to Israel. There's people that need here. My taxes, even when I buy a fucking sandwich, I'm paying taxes. It's going to Israel. Out of my
Israel doesn't
paycheck,
give us
it's
a
going-
penny, you know? They don't give us a penny, do they? They just take. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I think it's just they've gotten away with so much because most people don't say shit. Or that's the problem. People, I knew when I was going to school, I could see how they were in the 90s. They were just starting to get into the children's head. All the way the country is now. To support the government and the government's the power. You could see when I was growing up the divide from that, because a lot of people that were teaching when I was growing up weren't with that shit. They were from the old school, and they knew they were with the people are the power, but they've changed that.
Yeah, a lot of those
Didn't
people
even
when we were
take-
growing up, they were like 40, 50 years old. Those old timers are still around, you know, back then. And
Yeah, we need
they knew about the common law, dude. They actually knew about the common law, a lot of those guys. Did you know that?
we need them back.
Yeah,
All
all the
these-
common law guys, a lot of them died off, you know?
All these politicians ain't even from fucking America, like Obama and Kamala. It's clear as day. And then when you call them out, they be like, "That ain't true. That's misinformation."
Yeah.
How are these globalists getting into our government? Oh, it's because of their plan. I wonder what the founding fathers would think of this. You know. I don't think at all that they all were for what's going on today. Maybe
Dude,
some of them.
they'd be like saying, how is
Let's
it
go
these
to
people
war.
think they live in a democracy when we told them it's a republic?
Right.
That's what they'd be saying. They'd be like,
Fuck
what the
a
hell,
democracy.
guys? You know? We gave you a republic and you think it's a democracy?
Yeah. No, my grandfather was a Republican. My great grandparents left Germany. I don't know why. Maybe they knew something was coming. And they were like, "We're out of here." But I still have family over there. I would love to find them.
Yeah.
Go live in Germany. I heard Germany got good, clean water over there. They don't put fluoride in your drinking water.
Dude, if you ever make it to the motherland, go visit the Black Forest, dude. You know?
Yeah.
Germany's Black Forest? Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Fucking cold. Winter is almost here.
you're getting into wintertime now pretty soon here, huh?
Yep.
Was it December 24th, something like that? Or was it 12th or something? I don't know. I forgot.
I don't know.
Equinox coming around?
Equinox. Which one is it? Equinox or Equinox? I don't know.
Equinox. Yes, Equinox. Yeah.
What's up, Dom? Good to see you come up, man.
Was that the summer solstice and the spring equinox, something like that? Or winter equinox?
I never knew Equinox and solstice were different.
Dom knows. Dom knows, but he's not going to say. I don't want him to say, because, well, man, that's up to him, but, never mind. How you doing, Dom?
Dom's in silent mode. He's saying what's up to his mind.
Yeah.
3 fingers.
3 fingers?
I had a joke when I was younger. I was going to name myself 5 Fingers. That was going to be my rapping name. There's a 5-finger discount.
Oh, naughty boy.
But, I could never, ever think of no rapping name or whatever you want to call it. People be like, what's your rapping name? I'd be like, Chuck. Just me? Like, I never thought of no cool rapping name, so I just stuck with my name. I don't need the...
It'd be Chucky. Chucky would be a cool name. Chucky. Hey, Chucky.
It's propaganda. Oh yeah, that's right. Gabriel lives in Germany.
Oh, Gabriel lives in Germany. Wow, that's awesome, Gabriel. Man. They're smart bastards.
Dom says what's up in the back chat. Maybe he's busy. I don't know. Are you speaking, Dom? We can't hear you. His microphone's off. Can you hear him, Chris?
Nope, can't hear nothing. Hope he's not mad or something, or anything like that,
No.
Okay, good.
Uh-oh. I was about to say, I thought I forgot my card. I'd have to turn around. You know how many times I've done that? Walked up the street to the store, forgot my card, and had to turn all the way around.
Oh yeah, no, that's fun. Love that. Love it. Yeah, you get more walking time in, brother. That's what that means.
Yeah, I don't mind walking. That's one reason I'm glad I don't have a car. Here's your pluses and minuses of having one and not having one. I don't get to travel as freely as I would like without one, but I also wouldn't be in the shape I'm in if I had one. I walk everywhere.
Oh, okay. Are your shoes getting all screwed up?
So, a lot of my friends that have cars are overweight. They don't walk anywhere. They'll get in their car to go up the street to get some cigarettes in the store instead of walking. They're that lazy.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Okay, yeah, Dom is rebooting, okay? So.
Oh. Dom hasn't been up here in a while. I was looking forward to him coming up, but we'll see.
Charles,
what
you just say hi to 3 fingers? 3 fingers is here, Charles.
Yeah, so remember, and I was making a joke about 5 fingers.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. A little tired.
I said what's up. Gabriel says that's bullshit. The tap water is dead bottled water. Black Forest, it's worth the hassle. Why you say it's a hassle?
Black Forest, it's worth the hassle. It is worth the hassle or not worth the hassle? It is worth the hassle. Okay. I guess Black Forest, it's worth the hassle. Okay. Interesting. Probably meant to say it's not worth the hassle. Otherwise, you wouldn't have mentioned it. You know? And they even destroyed the Autobahn too, because it's not all unlimited speed limit. You know, like it used to be. They always got to ruin everything.
Oh yeah. What's everyone up to today? What's today? Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday, 6:09 a.m. in the morning.
I think this is the aisle. Of course, I grab a carriage that makes so much fucking noise. Somebody's coming up. Dominic.
Dominic's back. Yay.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear me now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll play.
Sorry about that, Charles. Sorry about that, Chris. I had to reboot. So a question I was inquiring is, what's more important on the body? The arm, the leg, the head? Or should we ignore one in favor of the other? The reason I say that is all countries are one head or one body. So should we be concerned more about America or Canada and ignore Russia or China? Or is that just more divide and conquer?
I mean, I would think that they're all important. They all serve their functions. You know?
True. It would be different if one country was advanced. Go ahead, Charles.
No, I just wanted to say, I was going to say the same thing. They all serve their purpose like a machine or a unit. But go ahead.
Well, I get it if we were talking about a country was advanced and they had cars and they had airplanes, and another country, let's say communism, I'll just use an example, they're way behind, but they have the same technologies all the other nations do. So then why would democracy or communism or Marxism be any different then? Unless that's more divide and conquer. You know, people squabble over what religion they have or whether or not I have an Android opposed to an iPhone.
Is that too loud, the carriage? Look at this thing. This thing goes around the store. It took someone's job. It's
Oh my
digital
God.
Harry.
I hate that thing, Charles. I hate that thing. You know?
Yep. I call him Digital Harry.
What does actually that do, guys? I haven't seen one of those yet.
It just like reports like spills and all this stuff. So basically, they don't have a guy walking around no more. Like they used to have, I guess, a janitor, but that thing saves them money, I guess. 'Cause it'll tell when there's a spill, and then they'll just send a cashier or somebody. I guess. I don't know. Something like that.
So the consumer doesn't like it, but let's say me, you, and Chris made that invention, and now we're billionaires. Would that not serve us?
Yeah, I like how you look. I like how you look at things like that, Dom. You know,
Mhm.
I try to look at both sides of things or
Well,
multiple sides.
There's
We're
many
not-
sides, but I get it, Chris. There's many sides. So at this point, we live in a country or countries where capitalism, entrepreneurship, are we going to denounce somebody that builds a car, and yet we figure out later on that the car and all the noise that comes from cars and planes affects us? How many of us would actually go back to the old ways? A question, especially when most of us are born or choose to gravitate to live in major cities. The world's beautiful. It's wide and expansive, but unfortunately, we all hibernate towards certain small little, areas. Whether we call it cities, call it towns, call it countries, call it. Nothing wrong with having a ship parade on systems and all that, but then you also have to spin it a little bit and say, okay, so how would it be any different if me, Charles, and Chris were born with a silver spoon or raised very elite like, and then we get scorned if we're actually going to care about everybody else outside of our own families? This is where class systems work. As we're using somebody else's technology. As we're looking at that robot going down some aisle, aren't we doing the same thing with this technology? We're surfing. We're trying to find things that's advantageous or to confirm whether or not my way's, either correct or it's not as healthy. For some people, it's just anyway. I'm already lost of words because I realize no matter what I'm going to say, it's each individual to figure out.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic there. A lot of facets to that. Let's say, right?
Well, if we were from another country, let's say we're in the Asian country, would we be talking about America? Probably. Would somebody be able to say, well, maybe they do serve? Same if me coming from Canada. It's the same idea. It's just a body of water that separates different, land masses. Absence of water, you have a land mass. Would 9/11 been different if it was two lightning bolts that hit those towers, regardless if they did or didn't, if it was real or not? But for most people, real is what they can pick up with their senses. So they actually saw that on the TV. They're not going to question how did we get the technology of the TV, and yet they'll say, well, that's wrong. I said, well, where did we ever get the idea of wrong?
Yeah.
If people truly want to question things, their thoughts, what most people do is they question after those things. What I see, how I talk about it. People can hear, but are they truly hearing? People can see, but are they truly seeing? This is where hearing, because you do oral speech, and seeing, basically, you're looking at the written work. Are we not to question those things? Not each other, but question those things. How people use it, that could be a teaching lesson. Thank you very much, Chris, for putting your hands on the stove. I've heard you scream a little bit. I don't think I need to do that today. But how many people would say, well, I don't agree with that, but yet they'll still put their hands on the stove. So then where's wisdom driven from then? From doing things or just observing things?
Well, you'd observe it, right, and then gain the wisdom not to do that. I'd imagine.
Could be, yeah. Or you do it. It's like some people that are elderly and say they're wise. I said, but aren't you a diabetic? Didn't you have a heart attack? So you're trying to tell me the things I should do to harm myself? I get it. But wisdom could be from a child. Dad, why do I do what I do? Or why do you do what you do in this case? That's the philosophy inquiry. A dad might get all upset and say, you asked me too many questions. I said, maybe you just never exercised thoughts then.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. People really don't actually question things a lot, like why something to the nth degree? You know, they don't. A lot of people do that. You know?
Well, hence, Chris, the concept of silence is golden because those things are thoughts. You know, what we do after with those thoughts, such as we speak about them or we write about them, they're not ever wonder, okay, but if I write things down, am I not doing things with my fingers, gestures? Yes, you are. Well, should I be writing with my right hand or my left hand? Should I be getting my comprehension from my left hemisphere, my right hemisphere? Hence the concept of right and left, not right and wrong. That's a pious position to think one is wrong, because once you think it's wrong, then therefore you've denounced right. Those are directions. And then most people are going to use their upper hemispheres because a lot of stuff is very logical. This is why they used to teach people or try to entrain people that found out they were left-handed. No, you can't write with your left hand. You have to be more right-handed. You have to be more logical, opposed to being more creative. Now, this opens the question then, who's giving us the technology then? Who's creating the Wi-Fi? Who's creating the written work? But most of what we do is we either complain about it or we use it.
Yeah.
You know, well, think about it. We have technology like now. People will say they'll complain about the TV, they'll complain about the internet, or not internet, the phones and all that. But meanwhile, you just have to look around. So there's millions, actually, way more than millions of cars on the road. Who gave us the ability to know how to drive something like that device, or all the roads that we've laid on top of the earth? Unless it's just this one big experiment and the gods are having fun, if I can use the word God in this equation. It could just be one fun game being played, but we get caught up on the material part. Well, I'm going to die. Oh, that's a question in itself. How do you know you die? Because you see somebody else no longer in that vessel anymore. I don't know where my parents go. I don't know where some young child goes if they get hit by a car. I don't know. Question would be, why do we build cars then if we're so worrying about dying?
Peace, Naga. Naga said the YouTube street is flooded with mental niggas.
Say that again. Sorry, Charles, I didn't hear that part.
He said the YouTube streets is flooded with mental niggas.
I wouldn't know what that means. What do you mean by that word, the last part?
Yeah. Mental niggas. Ninjas, niggas.
Okay. I've heard it used many times. Go ahead. Sorry, Charles.
It's the question you ask that takes you on the quest. Yeah, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Hey guys, I gotta log off here. Starting to fall asleep. I don't want to read or anything. So, all right, guys, have a great day.
Charles.
Guys in the chat, have a great day too.
Charles.
Thanks for coming up, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. All right, so you guys see you done.
See you later, Chris.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, if the internet was made for whatever, or the YouTube channels, we could say the same thing about the book form, written form.
I just like talking my shit because that's like probably the most thing I can do besides go to city meetings and speak my piece until they don't want to hear what I got to say and kick me out or arrest me. I've seen a lot of that going on lately. I don't know. This country has gotten pretty, it's changed a lot. Just don't seem like for the better.
Well, if you grew up in the 20s, Charles, you could say the same statement. You know, especially if you're an observer like you are, where a lot of people, they're not worrying about, how it changes. Is why it changes might be a concern for some, but again, most people are just going to be in reactive mode. Not everybody's talking about it. They might be just doing it. So, if we were in a time of depression, we still are, but if we were in those more distinguished ones, people would say, well, there was no work. I said, no, there was no currency, no means of bartering. That's why most people didn't work. So now there's a shift going on, and there's a lot of different other citizens, I'll call it for what it is, citizens that are moving around from one country to another, orchestrated, obviously, but
Do you think, like, because I was watching something on the Depression. My grandfather was born in 1920. Well, right around the Depression. And the Depression only lasted, I forgot how many years, 5 or 10. And then the country was booming because of war. Now, I think these people in power, not the presidents and all the people we don't see, you know, and probably them too, because they're businessmen. They own corporations and all that. But it seems they like to do the roller coaster or the good guy, bad guy tactics, you know. 4 or 8 years would be shitty, then we'll give them 4 good years, you know. Or maybe 4 shitty years, 8 good years. They like to do that, you know. And they do the good guy, bad guy president. You know, well, Biden was the shitty bad guy. Now we got Trump the hero. It's gonna solve the problem. And then you know, make it look like the country's booming and everything's all good. And then they come and jack the prices up.
I guess, Charles, if you follow nature, nature does it very similar. If not, we do it similar to nature, where certain crops grow every so many years, you know, and no different. We'll use the animal analogy where they do hunting season on certain animals. So humans, you know, think about the 100-year cycle. If there was a depression or an economy shift, then they had a war. So history does repeat itself. So there's a good chance when we had 2019 or 2020 and all that stuff, there will be a war occurring in the near future. Now, you have to also throw in the different kinds of technologies that have been thrown around. So it's becoming more seamless when it comes to a lot of these shifts, where before you would have to do the war because you're in a mechanical age. Now you're in a more of an advanced technology, such as computers. Everybody walks around, at least most people walk around with technologies at their hand. So there's a good chance they could say, okay, there's going to be an oncoming economic collapse. They don't longer have to do it through the newspaper. They can just do it through these medias. And then we start talking about it, and it becomes its own forest fire. So now, talking about America's situation, that's just another empire just ready to move on. That's all that is. It has a process of growing, probably, you know, not naturally, you know, so they supplement it, they keep printing money, and then eventually, or even resources, and then eventually it collapses, and then they move somewhere else. That's all that is. You know, whether it's the Roman Empire moving around to England, from Britain to America. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in America could probably say in our country, not our country, our state, it hasn't really flourished during the time where everybody else might say New York and California is flourishing. But is it really flourishing, or is it just more printed money being had?
All right.
Because America has not shown that it's actually the example, unless everybody's allowed to print their own money too. Doesn't work that way. You know, America will
be flourishing when there's jobs, factories and we're producing our own goods. Then America will flourish. Or you can say that, yeah, I guess that's printing more money, right? You know, no difference. There'd be more money printed for that to be possible.
Yeah. You know, America goes around. I'm not saying America, Charles, per se, but it's the empire that has their own citizens being military people or business people, and they go to other countries. You know, the only reason why in Rome it lasts for what it did is because when they wanted to take or manage other kinds of countries that they've taken over, they would have to send foot soldiers. Here in Britain, it would have been boats. Here, they just bring fighter jets, or they actually make it an economy where they have military stationed throughout the world. I'm pretty sure if you were another country, another person in another country, and you're thinking, why does America always have their presence in our country? If we're going to talk about nationalism, unless you find out it's always been about globalism. They've been doing this for, who knows how many decades, if not longer. But we're just seeing some of this thing going on, like in this case, you in America, because the economy collapsed in America. The currency is useless. But it's the one that holds everybody else hostage, you know, when it comes to trading. It's not nothing bad about America, because America is being fueled by the Federal Reserve. That's its own entity. So if that was the case, now unless everybody wants to start bartering again, but that would be very challenging, because me and you, Charles, just couldn't go to the grocery store. Listen, I'll clean your windows and I'll do electrical work. Do you think you can exchange me for some food? Maybe today they might say so, but what about tomorrow? Especially when everybody else starts doing the same thing. Again, this is what happens when we all become civilized and we become citizens. We become citizens to a commerce system. Does it work? Usually it does for certain people, but it doesn't work for the masses. Now, the question would be, does anything ever work for the masses? This is where people start entertaining the idea of communism has a chance then. I'm not saying it fully would work, but at least it has.
What's up with that, Tom? Why do you think people, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you mentioned communism. Yeah, all this noise, hold on. I see a lot of American people saying, fuck capitalism, we need communism. And I'm like, what? What? To me, it's like any of the isms are all control mechanisms. There's the ism again, mechanism.
Well, communism in its theory is the only system that would have a chance to work. The reason why none of them work is because of human factors. In this case, it would be who would actually manage communism. Would it be a human race? Well, then it wouldn't work. Capitalism doesn't work because you have to capitalize on other people. And if you can print the money and actually print enough of it so you can have military, at that point you can have any ism temporarily work, whether it's Marxism, liberalism. Usually people that talk about capitalism forget the equation, but you're allowed to print money. Communism, like a social system, it does have a chance to work, but eventually you have to say, okay, so are we all participating in all of this? Most people don't want to participate. They want to go to somebody's grocery stores. They want to go to somebody's gas station. They want somebody else to invent all the technology. That has nothing to do with communism. Let alone that has nothing to do even with capitalism. That's commerce. If all of a sudden all the countries closed the door, America would be the first country to collapse. Because they don't have enough resources and they don't have enough manpower. Most of their resources.
We're trying to see that right now, right? With Russia closed their door on us, the Middle East closed their door on us, and China.
Yes, because
I don't know if I believe that, because China still has all their goods on our shelves.
That's only because the United Nations, that's all mandated by that. It's like anything, anytime you're about to bankrupt something, you have to keep supplemented a little bit. And eventually America's going to have probably some major war with them. And then they find out America, you're going to lose the war economically. That's why a lot of these countries have been basically going, illusion as it may be, to a gold standard. Because they already know America, the economy of America, the empire has crashed. It was supplemented falsely anyway. So what do you do when you set up a scam? You eventually move it somewhere else. Think about the money they spend in Dubai. China and Russia have been fueling the American economy for the last 15 years. And I'm not saying they are, but their currency has. So what happens when you use your currency to fuel another sinking ship? Your currency becomes devalued. That's the best time to put it under gold reserve. Even that could be falsely, because really, what is the purpose of gold? Outside of consuming it for the few people that can, and maybe using it as a shiny object, what really does it serve? Also, you can use it for conduit when it comes to the technology that we use. But for most people, they value it as a bartering thing. Okay, I'll give you a whole bunch of apple for your gold. Okay, how long did it take you to get all that gold? It took me months. Well, it took me only 3 weeks to grow this particular fruit. Rare as that may be. So then what is more valuable then? Especially if you're a species that needs to eat. We got to look, well, not we, some should look beyond this, the concept of it being borders, let alone religion. Those are just more indoctrination belief systems, which they do serve, but they also have their limitations. So in this case, America, I'm just using that as an example, Charles, because it could be any other country, but right now America is the empire. In that, there's been a lot of falsity been done. America's not $30 trillion in the hole. If you factor in pensioners, you're over 300. So how would they pay that debt to those things? They can't. So they're setting up ship to move on. Now, the people that are in America, they're going to suffer. I know as much as people in America want to say we have all these military guns and all that, I said they just have to starve you out for a couple of weeks. So listen, you stop realizing as we're shipping all those guns in there, we're also shipping all the food. If we stop shipping all the foods and then start flying a whole bunch of drones or start sending messages to your, because conveniently the electricity would still be working and the Wi-Fi would be working, you bring all your guns and your foreign bullets to FEMA camp, we'll gladly feed you. There's the end of America. That wouldn't take long. That's probably a month project. But that should indicate to people how vulnerable they are. Doesn't change what I shared. It just makes how people become aware of where you stand. A lot of people don't want to hear that, Charles. I get it. But then some people might think it's wishy-washy. I said, well, then how do you think the system is run? How do you think government works? You honestly think the prime minister or the president or the chancellor runs the country, or are they just big CEOs of a corporation? And even that, I might assume Bill Gates or like a guy like Elon Musk or the guy from Facebook, he runs the country? No, he's just the face of it. It's usually the people in the background that are doing all the work. It's like a woman, I'm going to use stereotype here. It's like a woman, and if she's a secretary, she's usually the one that's running the company. Or at least keeping it organized and making sure all the dots are and all the T's are for the T's and the I's. Or sorry, the crossing of T's. My apologies, Charles.
I'm here. I was just in the store talking, trying to do a few things at once. My friend that owns the store from the Dominican island, and he had a brain aneurysm, right? And he ended, I think he got the Jabuski, and he had a brain aneurysm. He lived. And he was just telling me his sugar's at 600, that he almost died yesterday. I'm like, damn, bro. You just be facing death face to face and coming out a champion. I faced death a few times, but I don't be playing with death like that. I don't. What's up, Paul?
Let's change the word death to transformation. You saved yourself from the next transformation. So move on to some other thing. But I get it. Death for a lot of people is an ending. I'm not going to have that kind of conversation with people that want to say, well, it's a one-time visit. Oh, okay. Well, then explain how trillionaires come to be. So you're trying to tell me somebody can become a trillionaire in one lifespan? The people even have a grasp what $1 trillion really is. Forget about billionaires. Even that's probably for most of us to not comprehend. But we're talking trillionaires. Let's talk. Yeah.
$1 trillion? That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At that point, when you have, I think even billionaires, when you have that kind of financial thing, and as long as you can indoctrinate everybody else, have to play with that stuff. Now you have that kind of control, power, whatever word. Even that you have to train the citizens to value the concept of control or power. This is where the concept of knowledge comes to be. You apply knowledge, but where's the discernment? Because it doesn't necessarily mean you have to apply anything. Discernment comes from within. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to manifest it and put it into the physical. This goes back to reading the.
I gotta feed my cat right. But if you can hold it down for me.
I'll be here. I don't know what I'm going to hold down. I'll wait, Charles. I'll wait.
Well, if you got to go, I understand. I mean, you could just talk to people. It ain't going to take me nothing but 3 minutes.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. No problem. No, go ahead. I guess I'll continue then. Again, it's the illusion. The way you can convince a species, give them the ideal that you can own land, and once you have them conditioned, then you can take it from them. This is where the people of, doesn't matter who was the original first one that got manipulated on this realm or put here, they didn't value the concept that you can own anything. You just have to look at the sun and the moon and say, do I own that? No. Do you own the clouds? No. Do I own that body of water? No, I don't. So they had to indoctrinate people, another belief system, that you can own something. Even if a person really looks at their vessel and they realize, what do I really own? Again, that's the waking state mind. This is when you wake up in the morning, now you're in that conscious state. This is why most people are consciously ignorant. They don't really know it enough to challenge their senses. Even that, I'm saying the word theirs. Is it really their senses? And how would you debate somebody else on their senses? Again, that's another illusion. That's a play. People play that clever game, and in fact, that they'll use a language like I'm using right now to try to explain to somebody else. Validates that you're in that program. That's why they have things like a TV program, a radio program. These are all programs that usually taps into the masculine energy. Feminine energy is more the teachable energy. Can you truly be taught, let alone retaught, knowing that I've been using my senses? I didn't realize it can easily be misled. Sure they can. I could just give an example to a 5-year-old child. It's okay, you've been touching in a short period of time something material. Do you think those two things up in the sky are material? I don't know. At least we know that they at least know enough to say, I don't know. But let's say they did know. How would you apply discernment? How could you confirm that? How can you say that's heat up there when you jump out of a plane and it's colder up there than down here? Unless you understand magnetic. And really, I think a 5-year-old would have a better chance grasping that if it was explained to them. Especially if you find out a child that's visual, an internal visual, not just an external visual. Again, this is more indoctrination that most people have to first use critical deduction of what it isn't. Once you realize the senses could easily be misled, then you can start saying, okay, so then where do I see the words that I explain things with or describe things? Things are thoughts. And then you try to describe the external with those internals. But again, that would be challenging for most people. And the ones that do hear, sometimes either they're going to have a whole bunch of programs running, so they're going to make sure that it's not going to interfere with the other programs, because then they would have an internal battle. But yeah, my question would be, then why do you have external battles with other people then? Why are you doing this perpetual defense and attack? Because if people truly said, okay, well, Dominic, I know all languages, then we can have that conversation. But outside of that, we've all been conditioned with certain languages, and numbers and colors are languages. Same with each sense is its own language. How do we communicate with those things? It's like giving me different elements. How do they interact with each other? And then you include other chemicals or other elements, such as where the air is, where mercury is. But a lot of folks reveal themselves by, I'm concerned about what happened in 2019, or did or we didn't go to the moon. How would that serve for the betterment, for the ones that really are more practical, more physical bound? How does that serve you, knowing that whether or not we did or didn't go up to another, we'll call it Saturn in this particular moment, opposed to, Venus, the sun? Now I'm playing with words. Words that I don't own, but this is where people get caught up in. I'm the vessel. Then you should be able to question that. Then, that's why birth certificate it only works if you think you're the vessel. And then you go to Commerce Court and you have to deal with their policies, because they're not talking about laws. They might use the word laws, like how humans use the word truth or God, but are they actually speaking in vain? I could be speaking in vain right now as I speak. But I'm the kind of person, I'm okay with it, because I'm here to share. I'm not here to prove anything to anybody.
All right. Thanks, Dom.
It was a rant on it was like my typical rant.
I had to go get food for her. I woke up and there was no food, and my cat, the cats think like they're never going to eat again. My cat starts having withdrawal symptoms.
Well, they've been domestified, even though cats are a little bit different than dogs. It'd be different, cats out in the wild would probably do more hunting, and then they would know enough to practice the concept. They might go without a couple of days or weeks. Same with us. You know, how many of us really practice going 3 or 4 days without eating? You know, then the mental mind and the emotion starts kicking in. I can't go without eating. I can't go. Are you sure? Have you ever tested that? You know, simple one would be just to try to hold your breath and realize, how long can I go without breathing? And for most of us, 2 or 3 minutes, unless you're a deep sea diver, that's a little bit longer. But outside of that, you can find out what your gifts are or aren't, or your limitations at that point. But yes, cats, like most domestic animals, they've been domestified. Then we give them food out of a can, because we eat food out of a can, Charles. I can't speak for you, but I speak for myself.
Sorry, I'm just reading. He says, I love the screensaver. Them lights we saw could have been like that. Yeah, I think there's more to these towers than what we're being told. I just have that gut feeling.
Sorry, Charles, I missed that part. What tower are you talking about?
Like the towers behind in the for my back screen there, them towers. You know, like they say the 5G towers and all that. Tony Rambo Azul. Peace to Tony. What's up, Faceplant?
Hey.
Yeah, hey, Faceplant.
How's it going? It's just been crazy around here. It just keeps getting crazier all the time.
What do you mean by that, Faceplant? Crazy as in?
Just in general, the neighborhood, the city, the province, the country. Had a couple of events here in the last couple of weeks. Like one, it was late in the morning, I think, when it started. There's a whole bunch of undercover cops. It's like they all had the same costume on, the same jeans, the same shirts and hats, a whole bunch of unmarked cars, an ambulance staging in the back lane right by my house for about 3 hours. Like it's like they were getting ready to take somebody down. And then now, a couple of days ago, there was a stabbing over in this house where there's always been a bunch of shit going on. And it's both ends against the middle. Like, you know, the CIA supplies the bad drugs, and the police oversee its distribution. It's fucking crazy. So it's like I'm caught in the middle. If I complain about one, I get it from the other. If I complain about the other, I get it from the other one. You know what I mean? It's like I'm paralyzed, just waiting and watching and worrying about what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think all over the realm, shit's falling apart. The politics have closed the doors.
I think, guys, what comes with awareness is it will reveal something about somebody. So somebody that buys a white car and all of a sudden now starts realizing there's a whole bunch of other white cars out on the road. Or a woman that buys a dress from a store and then goes to a wedding and finds out there's other people wearing the same dress. Some people are unaware that while you bought it at a store, it only imply that there would be a whole bunch of other people buying it. You know, again, that kind of drives home to how most of us are self-absorbed. So we think everything affects us that surrounds us. But are we truly aware of a lot of things? If people started seeing how all the colors in the form of a color, the Wi-Fi affects us, would we actually change our ways? Most people wouldn't, just because it's too overwhelming. So once people start seeing that, you know, okay, this is what the stores are doing. Oh, Dom reminded me the diodes that are in the light bulbs actually entrains us. Then you start looking at all the lights that are installed in all the grocery stores. There's cameras and all these new lights that they're installing in street lights and all that for cameras. Then you start becoming aware, but it will reveal, am I the kind of person that worries about that kind of stuff? Or I just take it in stride? You know, they put a whole bunch of scooters in certain cities now for rental purposes. There could be cameras on those things. You know, I might assume that they're just the city's just going to allow those things unless there's not an agenda behind it. And it's not usually for the citizens. So once you become aware of that stuff, like I said, it will reveal you and how you perceive things. You know, it's like a woman, all of a sudden she's a hypochondriac and all of a sudden you have to wear a mask or you got to take injections. It will heighten and reveal to that person, if they never knew before, the type of person that they are. Personally, I don't worry about those kind of stuff. I observe those things. But other people, they worry about it when it's presented to them. And then this is why some people get stress, because then it starts going in their body. They start thinking about it all the time. Next thing you know, you're embodying it, because it's like mantras. You don't have to talk about it to embody it. Some people do, but for most people, they think about it all the time, or they feel it all the time.
Yeah, like the store, the superstore I go to, I told you before, Dom, with the Chinese guy at the lottery kiosk is always wearing a mask. And there's always the one employee of the store is always wearing a mask and just looking sick, like dark around the eyes with the mask on and just poisoning themselves.
I think at that point, Facepan, it's like looking at women that are Muslim countries. When they look at other women and they say, well, what do I have to wear a mask? Or they might even use the opposite. I can't believe those heathens aren't wearing a mask, and a face mask in this case. It's the same thing with here in Canada. We have a lot of Asians coming from other countries, and most of them don't have or not allowed to have citizenship. So they're still being held accountable based on the the Chinese ruling.
Yeah, they might be, they're employees of the PRC.
Yes. True. Yep. But for the average Canadian, they might say, well, we're no longer wearing a mask. I said, again, we're not aware of how many people live in each other's countries, that they're just immigrants. No offense. I'm just using a word to describe it.
Everything, everything you buy, it says made in China on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Chinese army. The Chinese army is run like a corporation. They do manufacturing and everything, and
Sure.
It's the Chinese army.
Mm-hmm.
And like even on Dragon's Den, they talk about outsourcing contracts to China, like it's a good thing. And
No, it's a thing. I always find it interesting when people talk about, the different state, like in this case, democracy and all that, but yet you're trying to tell me that they're the enemy, but yet you do commerce with them. Unless this is all orchestrated, and when you start going into higher levels of bottleneck and realizing they're all joined together. Most people get caught up, not most people, a lot of people get caught up in nationalism, not realizing, but then what purpose does the United Nations serve? When most countries, if not all countries, are under the banner of the United Nations, and the ones that weren't, then you understand why they actually attacked them, such as Syria and Iraq and all these countries, because they weren't also under the Federal Reserve umbrella.
yeah, they don't have the Rothschild Bank.
There you go. you know, I'm glad you're sharing that because a lot of people just aren't aware of that information. What we do with it after we become aware is a different story. But for some people, they get a little bit of information. Now they feel as though they need to put on their combat boots and fight the system. I said, well, you first need to understand how the system works because your enemies can be your friend and your friends literally can be your enemies. This is why, you know, for me, this is me talking for me now. I just share awareness. What people do with that information, that's on them. You know, I didn't create the system. My forefathers, whoever they may have been, could have been me. I value the concept. I might come back over and over again. You know, but I know that's woo-woo for a lot of folks, but I'm willing to entertain the ideal when other people aren't willing to. So then if you're not willing to entertain that ideal, how are you going to entertain all the other isms in the world? How are you going to understand that maybe Muslims might look at Christians the way Christians look at Muslims? Especially if you talk to a mother, do you want your kid to get killed at a war? Well, no, then why would you send your kid to war to kill somebody else's mother child? Again, that's more indoctrination. People just don't realize how wide the indoctrination truly is. As we're using a language, that has to also be indoctrinated in you. We all are, to a certain point, the frog in the water.
Yeah, and yeah, slowly turning the temperature up.
Mm-hmm.
As they turn, they're also rate of temperature increase.
You're breaking up, Faceplant. You're breaking up a little bit. Check it now. These are the new towers they're putting up in New York.
Mic check.
You're good.
Yeah, and I'm just saying what I'm observing, and it might sound doom and gloom or whatever, you know. So there's that. I'm just saying what's happening, and then people will take it as, oh, we just paranoid or whatever. It's all in your perception. Yeah, it is.
Hold on. Oh.
Yeah, like I'm saying, don't make it about the source of the information, you know, make it about the information. Just because I'm a village idiot doesn't mean everything I say is idiotic.
Well, this is where another variation of the indoctrination, where people put more value to a guy named, like they say, Jesus or Muhammad opposed to the teachings, or Buddha opposed to the teachings. You know, so again, that concept of Christ or a Jesus story or Muhammad is like somebody watching a movie and watching the main character. It's encouraging people being self-absorbed. They vision themselves being the character, but they don't want to see all the parts to it. So what is, in this case, Faceplant, what is he sharing? Who should we really be concerned about? The person. For a lot of people, they are concerned about the mask. So the person has to look pleasant. He has to have a pleasant voice. He has to have some sort of notoriety to him. But meanwhile, they realize, but what about a child when it's spitting out wisdom? We can't put those things on them. Again, this is like when people write books and they have to make sure they put at the very beginning of it, I'm a doctor. That means fuck all. What do you have to share? But I get it, you know.
You pay more mind to the labels, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, or this is 1 million books that got sold or whatever. I said they can make that up all they want. YouTube could tell Charles that he had 4 million subscribers yesterday, and then tomorrow told him the next day said he had 3. Again, we're playing with numbers. You know, how does that serve unless you understand energy? How does it serve to know that the person is giving the sign 3-3 opposed to 2-2? If not, most people should just put on their visors, go back to sleep, and continue living in a system that actually spends more energy trying to keep it afloat than being concerned about the few people that think, well, they're trying to fuck me over. You're not that good. The way I would say to most people, you're not even the space between the fucking cogs of the wheel. You're not that important. Maybe in your own little world you're important, but when it comes to others, take a back seat. We don't have to put on the bus, get into the back of the bus. It's clean up there, Charles.
Well, we feel a little more heavenly, a little more elevated. We'll be up with the chemtrails. We got to take samples, air samples.
Well, those clouds could be no different watching a body of water. It's shapeshifted into like a mist, like a cloud. You know,
Yeah,
we
it's
jump
like
through those clouds.
The world doesn't just somebody smelling dirty that goes to the store after work.
Again, those clouds are like we're looking at water. You jump through those clouds, you're going to sink. No different with water. As long as you are in that material form, that means whatever word we want to use. You know, that's why, you know, when people say, well, I'm going to go to heaven. I said, well, we mean Charles just took me to heaven. He took me to the clouds. I had to use another apparatus to get up there. In this case, I was probably seen through a plane.
Yeah, I like this one. It's pretty high up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone ever heard of the Alaskan Avenger? Alaskan Avenger. He went to prison. He used the Alaskan, I forgot the registry, and he was hunting down men that did horrible things to children, and I think he beat up 2 or 3 of them, and they put him in jail for about 18 years they gave him. He did 10 and he just got out. I think it's wild how people wouldn't have done that if they would give these people the correct time for what they've done, for their crime. They get off so easy, these chomos, man. It's sick. I feel bad for the children, man, who go through that just for them to only get 2 to 5 years, and then they're out in the street doing the same shit. But anyway.
Well, it is a crime on humanity, but the question would be then, how important is that? It'd be no different somebody saying an individual went around helping thousands of orphanage kids. You know, again, that puts way more value on the human part, the beast part. If we're going to start being concerned about the beast part, which I think a lot of people do want to put some weight on that, well, then what about the animals? Well, that's different. Well, then why do we use words like, you know, how we treat animals in a humane way? Again, this could be more indoctrination, you know, have more sex so you can reproduce more for this realm, which it could be. But then again, my question would be for myself, this is me talking to myself, what about the spiritual part of us, the being part of us? Because that's a form. All of us, whether we want to admit it or not, are going to age in that vessel, and that vessel is eventually going to perish. Go ahead, Charles.
Do you think the energy that the energy that, I don't know if I want to say energizes the body, you think that's separate from the soul and spirit, or you think it's all one?
To me, the soul is data. You know, when you have a person has a soul contract, you basically data. Whatever information, whatever you create or make in this realm stays here. You know, so when we come back here or other people come back here, you can learn the language. It's not like as though we're starting from scratch. We have to be reconditioned again. So energy that I perceive, Charles, is like air. I don't see air. I don't see thoughts. When there's clouds over top of the sun or in front of the sun, I'm still seeing the light. So that's a different kind of energy. where people just think those two flashlights up in the skies are the thing that illuminates everything, which is fine. They can think whatever they want. No different. I can think whatever way I want. I just don't want to be. I want to be flexible enough to perceive different ideals, which is more doctrinations, more belief systems. Where other people, when they say things, well, I don't agree with that. I'm like, okay, what don't you agree with? The language I use, or did you see it through my senses? No. I said, so you've been indoctrinated to think that you can argue with me now. And who's the me that you're talking to? So back to the energy part, as I'm looking out in that picture that you have there, we don't see air. I don't, maybe other people can. But then I couldn't, it would be rude of me to try to denounce them. I said, okay, you see air, good enough. No different. Some people see colors when they play musical instruments. You know, but the mortal form is consistent. It might give us the illusion because one guy's taller than another person. One might be a female, one might be a male, one might be dark skinned, one might be light skinned. You know, and then worrying about whether or not we were the first ones here. I'm like, okay, first one in what sense? First one on this piece of property, first one on this piece of property. What does it mean to you? And then this way we can have that conversation. But trying to convince other people, to me, is very erroneously. But that's fine. They can do whatever they want. And in this case, say whatever they want. But there is limitations to both of those things. I can't just go around having speech or whatever I want to say without not having a reward or consequences. But I don't value the fact that we're just mortal beings. You know, if it was that way, then how did we come to this ideal that we have all this different technology then?
I think technology's always been here.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Sun and the moon could be technology. Air could be technology.
Trees.
You know,
I think they Go ahead, Faceplant. You there, Faceplant? You there? Roger, Faceplant. Huh? I forgot what I was saying anyway.
What it is, I'm not putting y'all down, but we
You're going in and out, Faceplant.
I hear this thing. I'm not putting y'all down, but we was here first and we superior.
I was here first. No. I always tell people, do you think the bears argue over who came first, or the Rugrats, or the fucking camels, or whoever? The bees don't be buzzing who was here first. That's a joke, but I wonder who created that concept, because it really got people divided and arguing over who's more supreme. When the illusion is, that's the illusion. The reality is we're all supreme in our own way.
I kind of said that earlier, Charles, where one of the illusion could be how you convince people that you can take land away from them. You first got to convince them that they can own land. So now, if a person is aware that if not everything's always been manipulated, therefore even the species has been manipulated, whether or not somebody says, okay, I was the first one here, whoever that may be, first one here on the job site, first one here on Earth, whatever, then you have to break it down to details. Okay, so but you own everything? Well, then how did it get to this point? What do you mean? Well, this technology, did you create it? Well, not really. I said, so you let somebody else that maybe wasn't the first one here come over here and start bringing all this technology. Again, this is more self-absorption conversation. Well, then if what you have is so important, then why are the masses doing something opposite then? Again, that's usually somebody that something has happened in their personal life that gives them the indication that they're superior or feel inferior. Both of them are illusions at best. Because again, that reveals it's all about them. They're not considering other in the equation. Okay, so you're the first one here on the job site. I still got to do my job. So can we have space? Can we share space? If not, then we're acting like the same thing people are talking about, the elites.
And you ever Sorry, Dom. You ever like see where this stuff comes from these actual so-called teachers who teach a lot of these ideologies? You know, it's a hustle to me. You know, like they gotta hustle the people. It's gotta be mixed with a little facts and a whole lot of speculation to reel the people in, is to keep them reeled in, to tell you the white man's the evilest. And they like to, their victims are people that have been to prison and stuff like that. Like, both sides use the same tactics, you know. White, black, whatever color people want to use, they all use the same tactics.
Well, again, Josh, that's more divide and conquer. You know, one religion over another, one state over another. You know, my economic gains or economic notes are more important than yours. That's more divide and conquer. Now, for somebody, that might serve them. My question would be, so then if you feel true in what you're saying, then are you trying to convince me? Are you trying to convince yourself? Because to me, I don't see people as black or white. There's different shades and no different with genders. You know, it's two constant gender. But again, how does it serve? For reproduction purposes, I can see why they have different genders. For other people, it could be about pleasure. Okay, now we're opening up a different door. There's different types of pleasure now. So the limitation for me would be to try to, give somebody I agree with you? No, it's of no concern to me about agreeing or disagreeing with you, but I've heard you. And as long as you understand yourself and you, if you want to use the senses, then play with it. This is where we do this. Well, my religion is better than your religion, or my state is better than your state. And if not, then I have to get a whole bunch of gangs together to prove otherwise. I said, well, then you're just attacking now at that point, because you feel in that illusion that that you're defending something. Now, have people been mistreated? Yes, on a constant basis. But then that opens the question: are you the physical owner? If people are really trying to actually expand awareness, opposed to just saying, well, I've got this little particular shoe and I'm going to try to fit it in everything else. I'm like, okay, so if I make the object big enough that you want to put your small object in it, is it going to give you the illusion that it fits in there, or is not the right shape? And even that, is it even about being right or wrong? Because that's what that means when people are saying, I was the first one here. So you're trying to say everybody else is wrong? By cleverly thinking that you're right? That's just proving more humanity can't get along with itself. And at the same time, you're making yourself expendable. Regardless of whoever created or formed this system, say we broke them. So are we going to fix them? Nah, we'll just fucking move on to something else and we'll just replace them all. Why? Well, first of all, 120 years is too long. Let's make it 60.
Yeah, the I came here first stuff, man. I don't what's the word I'm looking for? I don't believe any of that stuff.
Well, that goes back to, you know, so the story of Satan was the ultimate creation, and meanwhile they built this lesser species and he had to give a knee to it. So then, are you here to serve or are you here to rule? That's the equation I get from people when they talk that way. Are you here to rule or serve? And who are you serving? Are you serving the ego, the vessel, or are you serving the program, the self? That's a person that hasn't fully developed. I'm not saying I'm developed. At least I'm willing to be in it as I'm doing it. Fake it as you make it. Fake it as you make it kind of ideal. Where other people, they take liberties and they think, well, I was the first nation here. I'm like, where? Sorry, what part of the world are we talking about here? Oh, you mean when the water got moved and then the dry land came to be? Is that what you want to be? You just want to be a fucking earth being for the rest of your fucking existence? Which is fine. But at that point, put some fucking duct tape on it over your mouth and do it quietly. Be the example if that's important to you. Give people a reason to say, oh yeah, well, if they're the First Nation, no problem. I like what they're doing. I think I want to mimic that. I can't change the color of my skin. I can't change my fucking height. I can't change my gender.
What do they call that? Damn, what do the guys say when There's this little white girl that was putting braids in her hair. He called it culture appropriation or some new shit they got. He's like, you can't mimic what the so-called black people do or something like that. I was just joking. Anyway.
Everybody has gifts, Charles. I'm not even talking about the distinct difference between people's shades of their color. Somebody could be an amazing person that understands astrology. And, you could be in the same family and have a different makeup altogether. So we look alike, even twins themselves, more times than not, twins usually write with different hands. One's right-handed, more times than the other one's left-handed. So that tells you a little bit about the division within oneself. But I get it, but that reinforces us against them. This is why even when people talk about the elites, it's reinforcing that again, us against them. But wait a second here, aren't the elites hiring people that have gifts to work for them? So then what's more important, the elites, me, or the money that most people have been indoctrinated to chase? I would lean more towards the money that people chase. And what's behind money? Comforts. I want to pretend that I'm a royal person. Well, I would have to convince a whole bunch of other people that they're fucking peasants. Yep. That's a game that we all play with each other, which is fine. And I
get what you're saying about the land too, because they had to convince people you could buy the land.
Sure you do. Convince them you could buy the land. I said, okay, but for how long? Well, then you have to actually get a military. You got to protect it. You got to convince other nations to help you. You got to overrule them. Next thing you know, you're playing this constant white lie. It's a constant. Whether maybe might be offended by it. The reason why it's white meaning it's in the known. Not because of the color of a person's skin, because I've never seen a black man, let alone a white man. I've seen shades, and if you're European and you're with somebody that's in a different kinds of I don't know, let's say Caribbean, some of them Barbados and all that, you could be dark skinned after tanning, and the other person said, well, I'm from Barbados. I said, again, we're not talking about black and white. That's the unknown in the known. What comes from the unknown, from the known comes from the unknown. Just mean you've never seen it before. We're not talking like different type of magic. Hey, I'm going to show something. It just came out of nowhere. Well, then you would have to open up the question to most people. Have you ever seen air? Have you ever seen thoughts? Well, therefore, what is it when somebody says, do you see the light? Have you ever seen thoughts before? Oh, I don't know, Dom. What's that? But you've seen things after thoughts, the written work, when you hear somebody speak, and once you speak, now we're talking about sounds and frequencies.
Thoughts. I've always been intrigued of the inner voice in my head.
The challenging part is challenging part, Charles, is when we try to manifest it into the physical, the acting realm. Action, actually, practical, fact, all those words give it away, the word act. And what happens when you have a person that's an actor or an actress? You got to give them a script. What script are you going to read today? Well, I'm going to be a European man. Got to be a man, European. I'm going to be an electrician. Got to be conditioned for that. Hey, but wait a second. I also have to be conditioned the language that I'm going to use. Oh, okay, and I also have to be conditioned how to use numbers. Interesting. So I'm in the matrix now. Yes, you are. No, you're in the matrix. Your program, the self, is in the matrix. The ego, the vessel, is going to be always there. You can communicate with it if you want. But most people are going to think, but I am that. So therefore, I am the country that I live in. I must be the body that I'm in. That's the illusion. Dare not ever question that. Well, if you're the body, then where do you go when you go to sleep? Who's running you right now as you're speaking to me right now? Well, I never had those thoughts before. Bingo. Language of consciousness, a thought. I don't own them. I observe them. But people have a tough time with that to a point where they feel so fucking confused because they're not teachable enough. And they're still attacking, in this case, me, saying this a bunch of words. At that point, I'm fucking totally amused. I'm thinking, fuck me. Go ahead, Charles.
Right. You said it's a bunch of words, and I was like, it's a bunch of noise. That's what it really is.
It can be. It can be noise. I call it noise because I realize, so how does it serve? For me, I know most of the shit comes out of my mouth is noise.
Yeah, because if we didn't know, if we didn't mold the sound and create words and definitions, it would just be like, and it would just be a bunch of noise.
It'd be a different type of noise. There's certain tribes that make a noise kind of. But again, we associate to those things. Everything's association. symbology, so association, gematria, association, numbers, association. We got to use, typical of us, we get things from the luminaries, comes through time and space, comes and manifests into the physical, and then we turn around and try to use the physical to say, well, now I understand all of that. Well, you do stand under it, but do you respect your elders? And when I say elders, I'm talking about, when I say elders, Charles, I'm not talking about a physical. I'm talking about people that come back over and over again. They come in the form of a mystic, a wizard, a witch, a shaman. The people that say, no, you don't plant your seeds today. It's not the right time. Why? Because we're looking in the luminaries and it's saying not yet. It's going to come in centuries or decades to come. This is where people understand that history always is read in the luminaries. Then it manifests itself. The word manifest in the mind. Now, again, I'm going to use a caveat. I could be full of shit. It is good fertilizer, but they need to question it for themselves if that's important to them. If not, there shouldn't be a fucking word coming out of them. Sit back, have some popcorn, enjoy yourself, and let the ones that want to chit chat for the sake of chit chat and talk, or write whatever. Because there's millions of books that should have been burnt by now, and it'll be no different here. Eventually, they're going to say, something, everything that was ever recorded, fucking via YouTube, podcast, let's just fucking burn it all. Why? Because we got to make room for the next technology. People quote shit from a fucking written work and they think for some reason they say it's factual. Okay, based on what? Were you there? Were you there when somebody, plagiarized Buddha maybe, or one of the Hindus, gurus, or maybe Jesus' story or Socrates' story? Were you there? Well, no. So then you're parroting information. At that point, we're using our imagination. If it was inspired to be written or spoken, therefore, then I guess through inspirations, you'll grasp that. If that's important to you. But for the most people, you just have to go down a fucking highway or go to a fucking parking lot at a mall to realize what most people are caught up in. Fucking got to drive your vehicle, got to do more consuming. And I'm not saying that's bad. This is what it is. But to think that most people are consciously awake, knowing that those things exist, that's a self-absorbed person thinking, because you got a little scratch at the surface. They're aware of something now. This is the age of information, not the age of awareness. I'm sure not awareness, age of comprehension. We're not in that golden age yet.
We're in the age of Aquarius now.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying the chances of you living changing from one, what is it called? What were we just in? The age of?
Is it Pisces?
I think so. And now we're in Aquarius. Are we? Yeah, didn't it change already?
I think
could have sworn.
We're coming into it. Yes.
Very interesting. Not many people get to live and witness that. But is it truly? Because if you think about how there's 13 months, but they only count 12. And this new calendar they created, we could be off, either over or under.
Yeah, there's
the damn calendar.
There's the solar and lunar calendar. Even our vessels, Charles, go through many ages, and each age will be reflected on Saturn or Venus and all that. So when people become aware of that, not saying I understand all of that, I'm aware of it, where other people might say, okay, so this is more fruitful for you because you're at the age, let's say between the age of 24 to 36, kind of ideal. And then if you're pursuing certain things, it would be advantageous to you. A lot of us have lost that kind of stuff. It's like we've lost, majority of us, of the concept of you eat certain types of foods based on certain days, colors of foods. We're even still going based on a 7-day calendar, 7-day week calendar based on the sun, opposed to maybe some tribes still value the concept of a 10-day cycle week based on the father of the sun, which is Ceres. They use words to describe these things.
I Googled it, and it says this, Dom. It says, there is no agreement among astrologers on when the age of Aquarius began or if it has even started yet.
Some say we are in the transition phase, whatever that is, between the ages of Pisces and Aries, while others believe the age of Aquarius has already begun.
Well, the age of
March,
Go ahead, Charles.
I was just saying March equinox in 2024. The location of the sun on the March equinox is in the constellation of Pisces. Whatever. Go ahead.
Well, age of Aquarius is about air. A lot of the technology we're using is air. Think about GPS, Wi-Fi. It's about air. The age of Pisces was about fishery. So a lot of things were dogmas. How do you catch humans with dogmas? So again, we have to look at, we're in it, but people are looking for a point. Okay, the world's going to come to an end. No, each individual being is going to have a death, a transformation. So the world does come to an end to them. But on a physical level, no, the world still exists. When I'm in my conscious state, no, Italy's going to still stay there. Canada's still going to stay there. If I see an animal and I'm no longer, it's as essence within it, but the vessel's still there. The world didn't come to an end. You know, we use a lot of sloppy language based on the fact that we're not willing to question the words that we speak, let alone what we receive. Hence Kabbalah, the information that we receive. Am I going to receive information and then try to share with other people with my upper hemisphere, my upper brain, with my midbrain? Am I around other people that use their gut more than they use their upper brain? You know, you talk to a whole bunch of scholars, you're probably not going to find a lot of them actually leaning towards intuition. They're going to be very scholarly. And then they're going to quote scholarly kind of information. And then they're going to use the word truth to validate it. I said, you're just using a word in vain, probably. No different people use the word God in vain. God bless you. Have you ever met God? Well, no. So then how do I not know you're using it in vain?
Yeah, I met God. I was meditating one day. I was looking within. It's like, oh, there you are. I've been looking for you.
There you go. I'm with you all the time. The gold's always within. Yeah, go ahead, Face Plan.
Yeah, sorry
Look,
about
this
that.
is how you catch humans. I'm going to show you right now.
I just went back to the YouTube and it says video unavailable.
For this one?
Yeah, I think so.
This is the Fisher of Men right here. It's how you catch souls. You go fishing.
But you're talking about thoughts, Chuck. Like, I find myself having to check my thoughts, like, because of my life experience or whatever, and the character that I've been playing in the world. Like, I see somebody suspicious. I'm looking out my window and I see somebody suspicious walking up the back lane, and a thought comes into my head, something like, oh, look at this freak. I wonder what this freak is. And it's like, I think that thought comes from a demon. It's like right away suggesting to me that automatically that it's some kind of freak. You know what I mean? So like I'm constantly having to check my thoughts. These thoughts come into my mind and they're not mine. They can't be. They can't be the thoughts of the real me. It's the thoughts of the character that I'm playing in the world.
Interesting.
It's like, yeah, people, and people judge you before they even meet you. Like, they hear something about you. Like, I found this when I would go on job sites, and there's people there that I've never seen before, but they know all about me for some reason. You know, weird.
Let's see. I gotta end this in like 15 minutes. Ah, there we go. That's much better. Or I was gonna add this one. Let's see if this works. Come on. There we go. I like that. Oh my god, Faceplant Soul is being lifted into the abyss. No. Look at. Get over here. Alright.
That looks like fish rising for the bait. It's like
It is.
it's like
How's the weather over there, Faceplant?
it's above seasonal. It's freezing at night, but it's above seasonal.
I was asking because you're breaking up. I figured maybe it's cloudy over there.
It seems to work better. My connection seems to work better when there is no sun. It's like when the sun starts to hit stuff, it seems like I lose my connection more. But just right away, when I get within 6 feet of the device, I have it up on a clamp. I'm not up on a clamp by the back door. I don't know if you've seen those clamps. It clamps to a shelf or a table, and it's got like a flexible gooseneck to hold the phone.
No,
But
no,
as
I've
soon
never
as I get
seen.
within 6 feet of the device, it starts to cut out. It's like that a lot of time, not all the time, but a lot of times, as soon as I get close to the device, I'm on Wi-Fi, I feel sick.
All right, Dom. Thank you for coming up and sharing, man. It's always appreciated. And I hope you have a great day. Dom said, peace, Faceplant. This is my favorite background right here. I love this owl. I love owls, period. Huh? What was that? Peace, agnostic principles. Yeah, I might leave this live stream up.
Just say something when I was interrupting it because I couldn't.
You're going in and out. You're breaking up pretty bad. What has everyone got planned for today? What's today? Saturday. That's right. Starting to get fucking cold out.
I can do some work on my old. Try to do some work on my old garage.
You live in the mountains, Faceplant? You live up in the mountains?
I live in the middle of the city.
Oh.
No, I live in the middle of the city.
No, for real? I thought you lived in like the mountains.
No, I have some land out of town, but I have a house in the middle of the city.
You don't see things like this picture? I put that. You can't park there.
I see falcons and owls and everything right around here in the city. Right in my yard, I saw a big gray owl grab a robin, and I also saw a falcon grab a robin right in front of me, right in my yard. and I have deer. I'm about 200 meters from the river, and I have deer. They practically go through here every day. They go from one river to the other river, and they walk right down the street here.
All right, let me jump off here. I gotta go do some cooking real quick before I ultimately crash out. But maybe I'll go live tonight. But yeah, thanks for coming up, Faceplant and Dom and Chris. Who else? That's it. And peace to everyone in the chat. Thanks for coming by. And check y'all later. Hope you have a good day too. But peace out, everyone. I'm out of here. Peace.